People are waiting. Live link, where can I share it with you? One second, I'll share in the
Broadcast
channel.
is live, huh?
I think we are live. One second. Yep, we are live. Hello, everyone. So, a very good morning to those of you who have joined us live. And for those who will be watching it recorded later on, I welcome you to the third session of Android Study Jams, where we will be learning all about the basics of Kotlin. And today we have Mr. Smit Satodia with us, who is a senior Android developer, has a 5+ years in the domain of human-machine interface. He also has a YouTube channel named The Hypercoder, where he also gives amazing tutorials on Kotlin. So once we are done with the session, you can definitely check it out later on for a more detailed understanding of the topics. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us today, and over to you.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and thank you, especially to you for arranging this session and your DSA team in the bit early morning. So we are going to check about the Kotlin. So, what is Kotlin is and why we are needing the Kotlin in Android, and we will sketch the surface of different features and the topics of the Kotlin. However, we are limited with the time, so I have created a detailed uh, video on each of the topics so that can you can refer later on the YouTube channel. So let me share my screen. I think it should be visible now. Okay. So we are going to cover these topics. So first of all, let's start with the introduction. So considering the Kotlin, like our first question is that why we need it if we have already the Java in place. So the thing is that Java is only object-oriented language, but Kotlin we can consider as an functional plus object-oriented language. Moreover, just like the Java, Kotlin is also open source and it is bit easy. Like in the Java, if you are switching from JS or PHP side to the Java, then it might be difficult to learn the Java. But Kotlin is very much easy, so it has a very easy learning curve. And Kotlin is also on the multi-platform, so you can create your application of the iOS, of the Android, web, server, automobile, and IoT. And even right now in the data size, Kotlin is like available. So if you want to do a data mining or similar, you can use the Kotlin. And yes, best part is that we will not have any null pointer exception in the Kotlin if you will work properly. Like if you write your code properly, you will not get any null pointer exception. And in the Java, we always face that we need to use the semicolons. But in the Kotlin, we don't need to use semicolon. However, you can use it, but it is not like required. Even if you will use that, compiler shows that it is not required. And yes, here I am putting the detailed video link. So in the future, if you want, you can check that. And considering the program, so we can write a program of the Kotlin via two ways. One is that via IntelliJ IDEA, and another one is a Kotlin Online Compiler. So IntelliJ IDEA is the IDE provided by the Kotlin JetBrains itself. So JetBrains is a company who developed the Kotlin, who developed the IntelliJ IDEA, who developed the other features like coroutines and the similar libraries for the Kotlin. So that is a brief about this stuff. So we are not limited to use only IDEA or online compiler. We can use anything. Considering compiler thing on the website, it is the Kotlin playground. So let me give you just one shot here. See, this is a Kotlin playground. So here you can write the program, And if I will share, so this is our IDE. So this IDE is also developed by the JetBrains. So you can see here JetBrains. So let's write a simple program. Okay. So uh, if we can if I will click here to run the program, so it will execute and it will print, hi, I am Kotlin. Perfect. So here you might have the question that why this will be possible, because if you have experience in the Java, so you know that main class of execution entry point is the only main class, but here we don't have any classes. So how this can be executed? So that means that Kotlin not required any classes to execute its program. Like we don't require that public static void main, and that is also wrapped by the class. This kind of stuff we not required. So how it is actually doing that? So let me just copy this code in our IDE. So here let's create new file, new Kotlin class and file. Then write paste, paste it here. And here we can run by clicking to this play button. We can also run by clicking to this button, and we can also run by run this file name. So let me run this. Perfect. So here you can see that it will be printed perfectly. So now the same question, that without class how it could be printed. So let's go to tools, Kotlin, and show Kotlin bytecode. Go to JVM8 and click on the decompile. Here you can check our decompile code. So let me just split it out. See here. So this is our main Kotlin class, and this is a decompiled class. So in the decompiled, you can see here that it already automatically added public static void main. So if it's added the public static void main, it is adding the class. So obviously we will not require. So this is the work which is Kotlin is doing for us. So we are saying only this much, and Kotlin is writing this much for us. So that's pretty amazing. So I think you are good to go for the first program. For the variables, we do have two types. In the Java, you will have the string, long, and other type of like integer. Here also in the Kotlin, you can explicitly define the data type like string and similar, but it is not required. See here. So we have declared one as an val, which is a string type. Another one is the where, which is a integer type. But we are not saying to the system that this is a string and this is a integer. If you want to say it explicitly, so you can do something like that. But as I have told earlier, that compiler will give you the suggestion that explicitly given type is reductant. So if it is the reductant, so there is no benefit of using that. So now the question arises: what is the difference between val and where? So let's go back to the slide. Val. So val is the immutable, and where is the mutable. if I will say in the layman language, so it means that you can update the value of the you can update the value of the where, but you cannot update the value of the well. So it means suppose I want to change this ABC to XYZ. So can I do that? See, they are saying that well cannot be reassigned. However, I can update the value of the mdata1. So let me just comment it out. Let me just use mdata1 is equal to 2. Perfect. So we can do that for the where. So if we want to change it again, we can again do that as many as time we want. In the Java, whenever you want to print something in the print statement, so you need to do like this one for the concatenation. But in the Kotlin, it is much easier. Let me show you. It is just a dollar sign and mdata and mdata1. So there is no any plus signature. There is no any this symbol. Simply in the inverted comma, you have to write your lines, and for the variables, you have to write this dollar symbol. So let's run it and check. Perfect. So here you can see mdata abc has been printed, and also we have the mdata1, which is the last value of 3 has been printed. One thing, if you have noticed here, we have updated mdata1 to 3. So compiler automatically saying that value 2 is never used. This 2 is never used because we have updated 2 with the 3. So you can safely remove that if you want. Val versus const. So we do have two options for the constant. One we already have seen that val. In case of val, you can assign a function. In case of const, you cannot assign the function. However, both use for the fixed value that you cannot replace. But that is the main difference between val and const. You can see here, const cannot have the function, but val can have the function. So if I will write the code for the same, let me do that. Val mdata is equal to, let me first write the function here. So here I can write this. So in the Kotlin, you can assign a function to the variable. Now let me create a const. See, I have assigned a const variable to this function, but compiler is not happy and they are saying that uh, it is not possible. So we cannot do that. However, we can do something like this. Only primitive types is allowed for the const, not the functions, because at the time of the compilation, system don't know what is the output of this ABC. So that is a major difference between const and val. And yes, const must be a top level variable. So that we will check later on in this video. And yes, there are many things that we are not covering now because we have to cover a lot of topic. So as I have told again, you can click here and you can check the channel. So here we have a detailed video for each the topic, so you can check it out. So let's go to the visibility modifier. So in case of visibility modifier, we have the Java, and in the Java we do have public, private, protected. So same as the Java, Kotlin visibility modifier is the same. So what is the difference? So one difference is that we have the internal modifier here that you can see here. This is a internal modifier, and this internal modifier is not present in the Java. So let me go one by one and check. So first of all, let's check public. So I am just creating another test file by right clicking to the src new file. Let me name it as test2. Perfect. Yes, here the entry point must be in main. Like you must have the function as a main, then also your file will be executed. Suppose I give the function name as an hello, so you will not get any play button here. So without that play button, your application can be run. So we must need a main. And if you are just beginner, so I recommended to use Kotlin playground, because by that you will get better idea of the syntax, and you will learn a lot in this IDE. Actually it will do your 70 percentage of your work. So maybe you will not get exactly what it is saying. So for the practice, use the Kotlin playground. For the enterprise project and other project, you can use this IDE. So I have created one function in the test2 file. I have also two functions in this file and also top level variable. So let's check first. Can I access this top level variable mdata1 of the test file from test2 file? Perfect. So we can access this mdata1 if I will do a control click. So it will go to the here. So we can access this one from here because this is a top level variable. Default visibility is the public. So we can access this from anywhere in our code. So if I will make it a private, then we cannot access. See here, cannot access mdata1. It is a private in file. If I will use protected, then also okay. First thing, for the top level function, we cannot use protected because protected is reserved for the inheritance, and the top level variable and function don't included in the inheritance, so it is not required. Then comes the internal. So what is the internal? Because this might be new for the people who worked in the C++ or the Java or any other language. So in the Kotlin, we do have the modules. This untitled is one module. If you want to check how many modules we have, just go to here, click there, click on this module, and you can see here we have one untitled module. If I will click here, then you can create as many module as you want. So your internal modifier has the visibility inside the module. So if you are working in the Android, and in the Android the project is large, like you might have the 50, 70, 100 files and the many supporting files and many things. So in that case you will modularize your code for the functionality like as the SDK, software development kit. So in that case, your internal would be visible inside only this module. So for the single module application, your public and internal will behave the exactly same. So let's check about here. First of all, let me remove this internal. Now let's check this mdata. One thing, we cannot access this mdata because it has the visibility inside this. We cannot access this from outside. Let's check about this ABC. Can we do that? Perfect. We can execute that ABC from here. Now if I will do internal, then also we can access because we don't have any error. Here is the right symbol. So it is saying no problem has been found so far. If I will use public, then also it will use because public is the default. If I will use private, then it is not happy, and instead of right signature you will see here that we have one error, and the error is that cannot access ABC, it is private in file 2. So these are the things. Now let's once check inheritance. So let me, I think I have already ready made code, so we can directly use that to save our time. If I can find an inheritance program. See, this is a one class parent, this is another class child. Child is extending parent class. And one thing here, we cannot extend the class directly, same as the Java. Like in the Java, if you remember, you can easily extend the class. There is no any extra work needed. But in case of Kotlin, every class is by default final. So obviously we cannot extend the final class. So for extending the final class, you need to use the keyword which is open. So this is from the Kotlin. This open keyword is specially for the Kotlin, and it is usable whenever you want to extend your class and make it open. So suppose if I will remove this open, see here you will get the error. They are saying that this type is final, so it cannot be inherited from. They are also giving the suggestion make parent open. So if you will click that, it will add this stuff. So as I have mentioned that 70% of your work will be taken care by the ID itself. So if you are just newbie and learning, so there is no much learning scope if you will use the JetBrains ID. So better go with the Kotlin Playground if you have the time and time. So let me create one variable here. Well mname is equal to dhc. So let's check, can I use that name here? Let me print that inside the init block dollar name. Yes, I can access. Now let's check, can I access this outside of the class? No, I cannot. Suppose I will create another function here. And I am writing some print statement. So let's check, can I access that variable from here? No, I cannot. Via this you have to give the reference, and then you can access that, but it is not visible here. So this is a brief about inheritance. You can use the protected here if you want. If you don't want visibility outside of your class, you can use private, so you cannot use that variable here. So that is a brief about the variable and the inheritance. So I hope you got a better idea now. Then comes Varax and spread operator. So suppose you have one function which is taking some argument, but you are not sure how many argument they are taking. For an example, you have given the requirement that you need to create a function which is taking the input as an integer, and you need to return sum of the received integer. Suppose in the initial I have only two variables, like two inputs, or you can say two argument. So at that time you will create a function with two argument, you will write the logic of summation, and you will return that value. After 2 or 3 days the requirement will be changed, and they have given you that okay, we need that for 10 variables. So you will create another function, you will do the code. After that, if there are a thing that they have given that okay, we need a large calculator, we need 100 of arguments, so this is not a feasible. So what you will do in the Java, you will create one array, and in that array you will pass the data, and you will pass that array to the function, and you will loop through that variables. And yes, one thing, if you like, if you want, there is a Varax available in the Java too, but it is not that much popular like in the Kotlin. In the Kotlin, each and every time, like, you will need to use the Varax. So let's check one example of the Varax. Actually, I have written that, if I am correct. Yes, because we are limited by the time, so I don't want to waste your time in the just writing the code. So let me just quickly recap what is the code. So I have created one function as in Kelsey. This function is taking the input parameter as in Varax. It is returning a integer. In the Kotlin, we need to write a return statement here, and we are looping through the that input. You can consider Varax as an array, so you can use the loop in the array, and same as that, you can use the loop in the Varax. And I'm just returning the some, nothing fancy here, as simple as that. So let me just comment it out, and let's try to use this stuff. So let me create a function will output. Sorry, let me consume the function Kelsey. In the Kelsey, if you will hover your mouse, you will see the input type. In the input type, they are asking a Varax. So let me write 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me use the print statement here. So print the output of the 1 to 5. Perfect. So as I have described earlier, we will have the dollar signature, and dollar signature is used for the variable. So let me run it. Perfect. So you will see here we have the OP is 15. So now the thing is that spread operator. So spread operator is nothing but it is a bridge between array and Varax. So if you are working in the legacy system, and in that system there is already a array list, like there are around 100 plus files, and the 100 plus files they have around 250 plus array list that you want to pass inside a Varax. But the thing is that you don't want to rewrite all the logic and do all the stuff. In that case, you need to use spread operator. So by using spread operator, you can pass your array to the Varax. So let me do that. I already is here, so let's just use it. We don't need this anymore. Let me run the file. Okay, our name is different. So here we also consume the calculator function. In that we have passed the array and also passed two other parameters. So let's check. Perfect. So we are seeing the output as in 35. So it is output of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 10 and plus 10. So I think you got the idea. And this is not a pointer. This is a operator for the Varax. So there is nothing to afraid. I know pointer is a bit difficult, but this is not a pointer. Top level functions. So in the Kotlin, we can write a function as in top level, and we can write a variable as in top level also. So top level here means that the function or variable that will not require any class for the execution. So as I told in the earlier of this video, that we can write everything in the Kotlin without the class. So if see here, this is a main function, this is a Kelsey function, and for both of that we don't require any class. Suppose if it is a Java, uh, we need to write we need to write like this if it is Java. However, in the Kotlin it is possible. In the Kotlin you can write like this, but again compiler is saying something. Class Varax is never used because they are not even using the class. They will generate by their own. If you want to encapsulate everything inside one class, at that time you can use the class, and this is called as top level. Suppose I will create another variable here where m name is equal to something like xyz, whatever. So this is called a top level variable. This is a top level function. So I hope you got idea about top level. And yes, third point, protected modifier will not work with the top level function that we have seen already in our like const variable lecture before a while. Now the times comes for the loop. So in the Kotlin also we have the loop like normal for loop, for each loop, while loop, do while loop. So it is the same for every language. I think in the C++, be it Java or be it any JS something, it is the same. So there is nothing fancy. But what is the new is that in the for loop you can write step until with index like of the stuff, and you can also like if you will write a for loop for 1 to 10, so you will use step to skip one element or any number of element as per your accordance. So let's just check a brief about. So let me remove this thing. If you can see here, uh, we are getting a Varax, and this is a variable name input in a input. So it means input in this and print that input here. So if I want here something new, so I just click the control space, and you will get this much options here, but all are not required first of all. And also we do have do while loop, you can see here. So you can put a do while loop here and they put the condition. So this is the same as Java. Then we have the normal while loop, and you can write your logic here and it will execute. If you want to know more about looping and the array list, so let me give you one thing here. Uh, let's make a one note. Kotlin playground and Kotlin official site by JetBrains, or you can say Kotlin official tutorial. So these are the two things that you can check it out later on. So this is the official website, or you can say documentation page of the Kotlin, and you can find the term here like for. So there is a very rich document. So see, in the Kotlin, you can write a range operator 0 to 10 here, as you can see where it is. To I did too much zoom. Yeah. So this is a normal one that what we have seen. Another one is that you can write a range, so it will print 0 to 10. Another one is that until. Another is that you can use until with this step. For the reverse like printing, if you want that your output would be like 10, 9, 8, then you can use down to. And if you want to skip one element, sorry, two element, then you can use step 2. If you want to skip 3 element, you can use step 3. So there are too many features, you can check later on. So that if you like want to dig more, so you can check that. I don't have that video right away in my YouTube, so I will release it maybe after this week. So then also you can check that there. Then comes when expression. So in case of Java, we do have when, but sorry, in case of Java, we do have switch, not when. When is specially for the Kotlin. So what is the difference here? So in the case of when, actually we don't need to write any break statement. If you are using Java, at that time you need to write a break after every case. If by mistake you forget to write a break, so it will execute next case immediately, and you will not uh, like get exact output that you want. But in case of when, it is a good thing. Another one is that you can assign that whole when body or when block to the variable. So suppose you want to check that like my country is India, Russia, China, or US, or anything, and you want to pass that country name to the your variable, so you can directly use that. You don't need to do anything like by your own. Other than that, you can check the object type, like is integer, is like string, and when is more sort of the English language. So whatever you are writing in the English, you can write the same in the when. So let me show you one thing here. So as you can see, I have created one function, and the function returning 20. So in the Kotlin, this is possible. You can write a variable like this, you can write a function like this. So here we are. So here you are assigning the value to the function, and here you are. So both are completely opposite. In the first case, you are assigning variable to the function. Another one is you are assigning a function to the variable, and you are passing that variable here. So it is saying that okay, uh, x is inside the range of 1 to 10, x is in the outside of the 1 to 5, or else if this is a completely another stuff, so they are saying that okay, you are alien, you are not like compatible to write a code. Another one is that you can write like this, it is an integer, print x is an integer. So this is also possible in Kotlin. So this is a high powered WAN. Then comes the constructor. So in the Kotlin, we do have the constructor just like the Java. In Java, we have only one constructor. In the Kotlin, we do have two, primary constructor and secondary constructor. So like whatever topic we are going to see now, constructor, then comes higher order function, extension function, singleton, then comes seal class. It is a quite in-depth topic. So I am just scratching the surface here. So in the case of constructor, uh, you might have the question that why we need the two constructor if there is one primary, so why need secondary, and if there is a secondary, why we need the primary. So simple answer is that if you want to do any operations, so in case of primary constructor you cannot do that because in the primary you don't have any method body, but in case of secondary there is a method body and you can write a custom logic. Now your another question is that suppose I want to write a constructor, a primary constructor, but you don't uh, want to write anything else and you want to write a logic too. So for that we have init block. So let me open our constructor. See, this is a primary constructor because we are writing a class name and straight after that we are writing a constructor name. This is a secondary constructor. So this is a one parent class, and in this parent class we have the secondary constructor, we have the primary constructor. So that is a possible. In the one class you can have the secondary, you can have the primary, and for that you need to use you need to authorize your primary constructor by secondary by passing a this, and this is a init block. So init block has the access of your constructor parameter. As you can see here, a parent name you can access here. Data class. So data class is that something we need to store the data. Like suppose you are calling the API and you are getting some data. So where you will save it? You can't directly write to the database or your file. In between you need some layer, so that is a data class. So inside the Java there is a like option to do I can say create a data class, and that is called a pojo, plain old Java object class. But the thing is that in case of pojo there is no any default functionality like getter setters or hash code. But in case of data class it is a by default. So let me give you a brief example of what the data class is. It is nothing but suppose I am creating one class test with the primary constructor with the one parameter where m name and data type is the string. So this is my normal class with the one parameter we are passing as in primary constructor. So create like to create a data class we do nothing, we just need to write a data and it is converted automatically by Kotlin compiler to the data class. Now I need to access that data class. So let's see how we can do that. Let me write a function and let me write well m name is equal to test and I need to pass Smith. So as this is your data class, now the magic comes into the picture. You can do something like this one. So you can access this variable inside the class from another class and you can set and you can get the output. So that is the beauty of the data class. Now the LVS operators, as we have seen that LVS Kotlin is the null safe language. So we are using the LVS operator for making our code null safe, and the syntax for that is at colon question mark. So here, suppose if your variable is null, so it will print a custom logic, whatever you will write here. Or if it is a null, then it will do a stuff, whatever you want here. Even if like LVS operator has the power that it will throw exception, custom exception. So you can write a custom exception also here. Functions, we have seen the basic idea of the function using the fun keyword. So, and also we have seen that return type, we can write a return type after the colon. So that is very basic of the function. So that is good for the like beginner users, or even the advanced, like beginner to advanced, it is a fine. Collection is very much vast in the Kotlin, even more than the Java, because Kotlin has the default functionality of many collections. Like if I will write well, okay, let me just first of all clear it out. So see, let me write one val m is equal to array. See, here we have array of nulls. By default, you can create array of nulls in the Kotlin, but in the Java, it is not possible. Like automatically not possible. Manually, you can write. Then we have Boolean, byte array, character array, double, empty array. There are too many things. Normally, like you can most of the time use the int array of, and you can write the integer, or else you can use the mutable list, mutable map, mutable set. So these are the basics, but there are another way. So it might be good if you want to check in the deep, and you can go to this Kotlin playground site, and from there you can check that. Now the higher order function in Lambda. So here is the new thing. Generally, function is accepting a variable, returning a variable. But in case of Kotlin, function is itself accepting another function. Function can process the function, and function can even return a function. So that is called a Lambda. So let me give you a brief example of the Lambda. So I have created a one whole slide on my LinkedIn. So not only for this one, like for each and everything, there is a daily basis. I am putting a description for the Kotlin items like variables, function, lambdas. So you can also find these slides there. So this lambda, this is a lambda actually. See, we have written a function. Whatever inside the curly braces is considered as a function. So we have written a function. That function assigned to the variable, and we are executing that function. See here, this is another function. This function is accepting a function. You can see here, correct? C is the variable type, variable of this function, and it is processing on that function. So only one thing I would like to say is that this is a quite big topic, Lambda. Even most of the time, experienced person don't know. So it's okay. Like if you will be confused here, let me give you one more example to make it clear. So let's take an example as an awesome two. So this function is taking two argument. A is the variable, B is the variable, C is the function. So here we have added the this string, this integer, and we have passed that awesome to lambda x function. This is a function to this function. This is a input type. This is a return type. So input is the string. Returning it is nothing. Like it is returning nothing. It is just printing. So I think you got the idea of this function. Let's go back to this slide. So extension function is something we need. Suppose you want to extend the functionality of some class in the Kotlin we have string class, integer class, and you want to add some functionality to that class, so directly you cannot use that. You don't have access of that source code. So for that, Kotlin came up with the idea of the extension function. So using extension function, you can extend your logic to that like classes. Singleton is same as in the Java. Uh, in the Kotlin, we cannot use the same syntax in the Java. So in the Kotlin, if you want to create a singleton, you can write as an object. So this is your singleton. So you can write object ABC, and this is your singleton. Companion object is something you can create as a public static. So companion object is accessible throughout your classes, like throughout your application. Then comes tail recursion. So tail recursion, suppose you want a recursive loop, like you are creating Fibonacci series. So in case of Java, it will crash your application if you will run infinitely. But in the Kotlin, if you will use the trail rig function, so it will not crash your application. Even if you will run for the like a whole day, like since morning to night, if you will run that function infinitely, automatically, then also it will not crash. Actually, I have tried that. Let me give you the example. See, this is a loop. Sorry, this is a function Kelsey, and this function is calling itself. So if I will run right now, it will execute for a few times and it will crash. See, it is crashing. It has been printed till around 6,000 and then it got crashed. So now if I will add the trail rec, so it will execute infinite times. So this is how Kotlin is managing the memory, because it is saving the only last value, not all the variables. So it can execute for the years even. So I need to manually stop it, otherwise it will be infinite. So this is a tail rec. Then I mentioned earlier that Kotlin, in the Kotlin you can write a shell library, and that shell library can be used for the iOS and the different platform. And for the Jetpack Compose, you can write Jetpack Compose is the UI builder, and for that you can write your website even. And right now we have Flutter, React Native, Xamarin, and other similar like Vue Native for the cross-platform. And Kotlin is the new player in this game. So maybe in the very soon we will have the Kotlin as an cross-platform language. Coroutine is the same as the thread, but it is a very lightweight thread. So if you will start thousand of thread in your Java, it will crash your application. But in case of Kotlin, if you will start thousands of even millions of coroutine, it will still execute. And MVVM is kind of the design pattern we need to use in the like a modern world. We do have the model view presenter MVP, we do have model view intent MVI, and we another have the MVVM model view model design pattern. And benefit of MVVM is that the all the business logic goes to the view model, and it is also officially supported architecture pattern by Android itself. So it is quite a good. And you can like refer my tutorial for more if you want to know MVVM, because I am uploading this stuff inside the MVVM. So I think we have covered pretty much everything. For the higher topics like companion object singleton, I will write a post or something and I will share with your DJC Elite, so you can check back later. And I think we are running out of time. So that's all. If you have any doubts or questions, so you can ask, so we can like discuss on that.
Yeah. It was indeed an amazing session, and I can like even the viewers have put in the comments that they are enjoying it and that they had a good time doing it. We have one question like most of the beginners when starting with app development have this question that which is better, like Android or Flutter. So what do you
Okay.
think?
Yeah, so Flutter is good. It is a cross platform. Android is not at all cross platform. Android is only reserved for the Android. The thing is that both are operated by the Google. Flutter is also from Google, Android also from Google. And as per the history of the Android, and especially for the Google, they are no longer running same language for longer time. Sooner or later they will merge Kotlin with the Flutter. Maybe they will generate Kotlin, something similar. Because right now already Jetpack Compose is the same what we are seeing in the Flutter for UI development, and in the Kotlin we are using Jetpack Compose. So if I want to create Flutter application, I will use the same. Another one is that Flutter is good for the user interfaces, like user level application, but in the time sensitive or mission critical application, you will not use the Flutter or React Native. You must need to use native application. Likewise, you are working like I am working in the General Motors, so there we don't use the Flutter, because automotive, whenever you will click some button on the steering wheel and you want to some perform you want to perform some actions, you obviously want it as fast as possible. So for that only native is possible. But if you are seeing the Flipkart or Amazon, even Amazon is using the web view still now. So for this kind of application, user level application, it is always a cross platform, Flutter or React Native. So what you are targeting, if you are targeting a company, something a product base, and that is on the enterprise level B2B, use the Android, learn the Android and Kotlin. If you are targeting some product based or service based company which is for the user level they are developing user level application, target Android. But anyways, sooner or later you need to learn both, because only one language will not give you the salary much, so you will need to learn both.
Yeah, definitely. So like it's like they can first start with Kotlin and then move on to Flutter, something like that.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer. And I hope like all the audience had a thorough understanding of the basics. And we have also included Sir's YouTube channel link and his LinkedIn in the description. So you can refer to those for a detailed explanation of everything. And you can even connect with him. So before we end it, so any words, like any ending words that you would like to say?
Smith, will you join my company? Yeah, I can, but if you are real Bill Gates. Yeah, no, actually, you guys are doing pretty good. At our time, we don't have that DSC and similar, but yes, you are doing very much good. And this session is quite helpful for maybe everyone, maybe for me also, because I got an offer from Microsoft, from Bill Gates right now in the comment section. So one thing here, like Kotlin is easy, but there are too many features available. So you need to learn a few stuff like seal class when expression is not available in the Java. So better keep practicing. And yeah, if you want to know more, so as Hart said, like you can check out my channel. So I'm uploading almost daily tutorial on the Kotlin and similar. So you will have the idea. So, and thanks everyone to attend this in the early morning. Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining, and for all your
Thank you.
support. So, bye everyone. Have a good day, and we are looking forward to see you all building some cool applications. So you can even like tag her and us when you build something, and we would love to see them. Goodbye. Have a good day.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.